We extended our opportunity to see the weather and to get out to the field as long as we could. Um, really felt like the need to play was here. Um, our, uh, our team, for two reasons. One, we'd like to have been able to figure that final tally in what we might accomplish as a win, and we would like to have prepared best for Mississippi State. Having had a first game under our belt before we played them. That's why we waited as long as we could. It was obvious, really, um, in the early going, that the second storm was going to be prohibitive in terms of us playing, and the idea that we would wait till just before midnight to see if we could possibly get on the field and then play to 3 o'clock in the morning was not in the best interest of our players. Felt like the health consideration there was overriding the necessity to play the game. So we're we have to accomplish our same goals, without that game, and that's the push. Our preparation will have to be a little bit better. We'll have to make sure that we give a view of a road game to some of our young players and put them in position to excel. But we talked about that, and either way, play or not, we'll be prepared to play the next opponent.
Does it make it that much more difficult? So you have the holiday this week, and you haven't played a game now to prepare for Mississippi State?
Yeah, all of that gave reason to extend, the timeline by which you would judge if we could get onto the field and play the game. And I think Joe and the game management people did a great job in telling us, there goes again, and we tried to plot storms that were going to interact with our environment, and I think they did a great job. We really had information. There was a spell there where, about 6 minutes worth where you could have felt like you could have got out to the field, and then lightning struck, and our game management people predicted it all along. So we recognized that this thing was not going to happen anytime soon. It's possible that we'd have never got clearance to go onto the field, and how can you ask a college-age player to do something that I, as a coach, never coached in a game that started that late and played till, possibly 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
The lack of simulating game speed, game reps, is that the real crusher here?
Oh, we'd just like to get out on the field. You betcha. The experience of a game, the returning of a punt, the kickoff, speed under the ball, and just so much that you get from a game, game film.
Coach, for a team that has playoff aspirations, do you think it would make a difference if it's an 11-game regular season as opposed to 12?
Well, it just really depends on what you get accomplished. If you march through conference and you end up as conference champion, it won't make any difference. If you're the best 11-win team at the time, or there's some best 12-win teams, it'll be interesting to see how that might play.
When the first lightning, hit struck, did you ever envision this scenario that 4 hours later the game would be canceled?
No, I never did. I really felt, because the experiences that I've had here in the past have been rain more than lightning, and I don't know the last game that we had, but it was about a 45-minute delay. We went in, we relaxed for a minute, we turned right around, came back out, and played ball, and really enjoyed it. I mean, it kind of took the heat off the day, and it was a great experience. So that's really, when we left the field, that's exactly what I thought. So I just figured that we'd return in short order.
Coach, how much did your quarterback need this game?
Well, obviously, without the game at this point, hopefully not that much. He's this was his first start, and he would love to have had it. I would love to have had him have it, but again, that's not possible. We can't go back now. It's done, and so he'll have to play with the preparation of this game, and really, which was a dynamic preparation. There was a lot to it. There was a good McNeese State team, and a team that we prepared well for, and so there's going to be some carryover in the preparation as we go to Mississippi State.
Coach, what were your thoughts about Sunday or Monday? Any thoughts about trying to play on those dates?
Yeah, we tried to get those days in, including the open date, and but. Yeah, I just didn't. It just didn't seem quite, worth it.
Coach, what did your players do during the
They stretched, they relaxed. First of all, we brought them in and we went over football, and we went over football to twice and three times, and we just went over football because we only had a few plays to go over, and then. We figured we would go back out to the field, and we're another half an hour, another half an hour, another half an hour. And now they really thought, initially, that that they were probably going to, not play this game. And then I went in and told them, I said, listen, the reason we need to play this game is these three things, and it's things I just said. And they said, you're right, and let's go play. And so, but the weather just never cooperated. And that being said, we lose the opportunity at the game, and but we did prepare, and we do have the experience of preparation for that game. We didn't get those plays run like we would like to have had them run, but we prepared well. So I think this was a challenging game to prepare for. McNeese does what they do extremely well, and we needed to accomplish it. I think our guys will take from game prep and game week, even though they didn't get the experience of the game. There will be some carryover.
Will you practice tomorrow or change your practice schedule?
No, won't change the practice schedule at all. We'll watch the film tomorrow, and we'll practice. What? What's exactly right? There's just not a lot to watch. So we'll meet and kind of go over things, but no, we'll not practice tomorrow.
You got to change my freshmen in, even in the limited plays. I think I kind of thought at least. Talk about your community playing them.
Yeah, I kind of shot my mouth off earlier and told them we'd play 10 on offense and probably 5 or 6 on defense, and I didn't get a lot of snaps, so we didn't get a lot of guys played, but we'll have to wait till the next game.
Will it change much how you prepare for Mississippi State?
Not at all. Not at all. We would have prepared exactly the same way, and we'll be a little fresher, and we'll be a little bit. We won't be nicked, so there may be some real positives there.
What about what you might do game plan wise?
Well, I think game plan it's probably going to be the same. I can't imagine that we change our plan up so much that it would be different.
Is the game plan tougher though, because you don't have anything from this game to react to?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no question. What you're saying is that this guy did that well and this guy did that well, and we want to call those plays again because he was just really a lightning on the perimeter and et cetera. We don't have that experience, but minus that, we have pretty good suspicion who's really capable, and we'll have to put him in. There's no substitution for game reps, but in this particular instance, we're going to have to prepare in a game like situation. we'll give thought to that. That'll not hinder us.
You maybe scrimmage this week or do more 11 on
Uh,
11?
More 11 on 11 and more speed to the ball.
Some of the film exchanges, Mississippi State, they send you 8 plays too. They're gonna send you like their first 8 plays, basically.
That'd be cheating if they did that. So we're going to give them the whole game. Intercut.
Coach Dante Jackson will kick off returning wide receiver. Are those signs of things to come?
Yeah, I think he's a corner. I think he's a good guy with the ball in his hand. I think he can be a receiver. I think there's a bunch of things he can do.
He'd have played pretty early defensively in that game, you think?
Yeah, I do.
During a delay like that, how do you decide things such as whether the players should eat again, or did they eat again, or where they if they survived the bite?
Well, I was fortunate. I had Moffitt and our nutritionist Lauren, both of which said, "Okay, it's time we need to start to feed these guys again." And we did. We called over to McNeese and offered them an opportunity at some food as well. We recognized that they were getting hungry, and so we fed the troops.
Is this the first time you can ever remember a game that you were part of getting canceled, or do you remember at Oklahoma?
Yeah, I have to be real honest with you. I've never. The only time that anything like this has happened was 9/11. 9/11. They took football from us for a week, and but this here was the weather.
Is it a little like 05? You lose a game altogether. Now you have to go on the road, to play your first year here.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. In my first year here, I went on the road to play Arizona State in the first game, and then come back to play a Monday night game against Tennessee. No, it's not like that either. So, but what we'll take from that, what we'll take from this week is we prepared, we kicked it off and had a couple of plays. I promise you we'll correct those plays, and I think our guys will enjoy the freshness and with a weekend off, and I think we prepared well for this team, and I think that'll help us.
What did you think of the first of the 8 plays?
Well, in the first quarter, like the way I spoke about it,
Curry used to go through every play. That won't take you long.
that's correct. Did he really? Oh, Lord.
Coach, that's time for one more.
Yeah, considering all the plays, that's correct.
Coach, what did it mean to you to have all the students and the fans that stayed throughout the weather that wanted to stay and see your team play later?
I want you to know, to the fans, thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part. We tried. We gave every consideration we could to being on the field and playing that game. I felt for our opponent in an away locker room and with a drive in front of them, and in my opinion, was probably a wise decision for both teams.